ABC7 Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
A proposed bill could change voter registration requirements, making it harder for some people to vote in Maine. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. A man has been sentenced to 42 years in jail for the murder of his longtime girlfriend back in 2019. And a federal emergency management team is in Bangor to help with the homeless. We've got the details. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey, Susan. Happy Tuesday afternoon. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Lou G. and Fredericks across from Eastern Maine Medical Center, serving the greater Bangor area for over 65 years. Here we go. So things are quieting down. At this point, the clouds are tracking off from the west going toward the east. So that does mean a lot of sunshine today. So definitely get outside and enjoy it with temperatures that will also be in the 30s. We have the system right here that's rotating off towards the east right now, so as that leaves us alone, we do have high pressure that's right nearby, so I'll keep us calm today. Before tonight and tomorrow, we might have to watch for this a little bit of snow, but it'll mainly be tonight by about 10 to 11 o'clock. The snow will move through. It'll be done by tomorrow morning with decreasing clouds by that time frame, so a mixture of clouds and sunshine to start things off for your Wednesday. And the winds will not be a huge deal either. They'll be stirred around for the daytime period today, but starting to pick up as we head towards your Wednesday, so that might make the ocean just a little bit active yet again. So your forecast for today, 30 degrees. We'll go mostly sunny. It'll be nice out there. South wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Later on tonight, 20 degrees, snow showers. We'll say 1 to 2 inches of snow possible. South wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for tomorrow, 41 degrees. That will feel nice. Partly cloudy and breezy. We'll be melting some snow as well with that west wind at about 25 miles per hour. The hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period, plenty of sunshine and temperatures making it into the 30s before they start to cool off. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. A proposed bill could change voter registration requirements, making it harder for some people to vote in Maine. Devin Dagnall met with officials to learn more.
Maine Senate Republicans have proposed a bill that would require potential Maine voters to present specific information in order to register to vote. If passed, LD 34 would not allow voters to use previously accepted forms of ID, such as tribal and/or university-issued photo identification. But, according to the sponsor of the bill, Senator Matt Pouliot, that could change.
I actually proposed an amendment to allow for state university or state community college IDs to be used as long as the student were a Maine resident.
As it stands, the bill allows for voters to use government-issued photo IDs such as driver's licenses, U.S. passports, and concealed handgun permits. The bill also states that those who do not have those forms of identification will be allowed to request a free voter's identification from the Maine Secretary of State. Pouliot says the bill has been proposed as a way to combat a growing concern about voter fraud in the state.
There is a war in this nation on the free form of voting that we have in terms of lack of public confidence and trust. And so this is not a politically motivated bill. It's a bill that seeks to help restore confidence and trust in the electoral process in the state.
We already require proof of identity when you register. Making Mainers take that extra step of showing some sort of specific ID when you go to vote is discriminatory, will create long lines, and really is a solution in search of a problem.
At a hearing on Monday, Secretary of State Shenna Bellows testified against the proposed legislation. Bellows says if passed, the legislation will do more harm than good.
As it's unnecessary, it would create logistical consequences, including long lines at the polls, and potentially discriminate against voters.
No official decision has been made on the bill yet. The legislature will vote on the matter next week. Devin Dagnall, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A man has been sentenced to 42 years in jail for the murder of his longtime girlfriend back in 2019. Nicholas Lovejoy previously pled guilty to the murder of Melissa Souza, the mother of their twin daughters. Lovejoy shot Sousa 4 times in October of 2019. Sousa's friends and family say the verdict has brought some level of closure after the loss of their loved one. The prosecution says this case sheds light on the tragic realities of domestic violence.
Very relieved that it's finally over, because it's been a long 3 years. She was a good mother, and she was a very thoughtful and kind and loving person.
So certainly if there's anybody out there watching this who's in a similar situation or is suffering from domestic violence, please reach out. There are so many resources available to you.
Monday in court, defense attorney Scott Hess interviewed a neurologist to argue how Lovejoy's 2012 car accident caused injuries to his brain. The defense contended that Lovejoy's jail sentence should reflect the fact that a trained professional says those head injuries could have influenced Lovejoy's cognitive thinking as it relates to his behavior.
I think he's processing it. Obviously, it was a significant sentence that the court imposed. The brain injury that Mr. Lovejoy suffered, though, was catastrophic and was something that no doubt permeated in all areas of his life.
Hess says Lovejoy is currently using a wheelchair because of the falls while in jail due to repeated seizures. The defense plans to file for appeal sometime this week based on their claims that evidence was recovered by violating Lovejoy's constitutional rights. The maternal grandmother of a 3-year-old boy killed in June of 2021 was sentenced on charges in connection with the case, but will serve no further time in jail. Sherry Johnson originally pleaded not guilty to the charge of hindering apprehension or prosecution in the death of her grandson, Maddox Williams. Police say Johnson lied to them about her daughter's whereabouts for several days after Maddox was taken to the hospital by Johnson and her daughter and pronounced dead. Monday, Johnson entered a guilty plea and was sentenced to 3.5 years in jail, all suspended, plus 2 years of probation. Maddox's paternal grandmother said she was disappointed with that sentence.
I was hoping for jail time. I was disappointed, but I figured there wasn't going to be any more additional jail time. But this was my only shot to tell her how I feel.
Johnson is also required to do 48 hours of community service. Maddox Williams, mother Jessica Williams, was previously convicted of killing her son. She was sentenced to 47 years in prison. A Belgrade man has received his sentence for bank robbery in central Maine. 47-year-old Clinton Dambois has been ordered to spend more than 8 years in prison for holding up a Camden National Bank in September of 2016. Officials say he told a teller it was a robbery and gestured to the waistband of his jacket and said he had a gun. Dambois then fled with some money, but he was later identified by the teller and the bank's security footage. Along with 98 months in prison, he's also been ordered to pay more than $3,000 in restitution. A Maine corrections officer who caused a crash that killed a 9-year-old girl after he worked consecutive 16-hour shifts won't be serving any time behind bars. 65-year-old Kenneth Morang, who was convicted in October of manslaughter, gave an emotional apology to the girl's family before a judge sentenced him to 6 years. All of it was suspended. He must serve 4 years of probation. Prosecutors said Morang knew he was too tired to be driving after working the consecutive shifts at the Cumberland County Jail. Morang collided with a family that was returning home in their SUV after seeing the Lion King movie in July 2019. 9-year-old Raylan Bell died several days after that collision. Morang, who faced up to 30 years in prison, resigned from his job at the Cumberland County Jail because the injuries he suffered in the crash prevented him from returning to work. As the homeless crisis in Bangor worsens, a federal emergency management team is stepping in to help. Our Matthew Duronsic has the story.
This is the most homeless I've ever seen in the city of Bangor, and I've been working with the homeless for 15 years.
The city of Bangor is working with a group from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to combat the current homelessness epidemic.
HUD can deploy subject matter experts to a community, to an event, to address the needs within a community. And our need was, how do we move individuals who are in encampments into housing?
The technical assistance team has worked in larger metropolitan areas to quickly rehouse the homeless, including Seattle, Los Angeles, and San Diego. The group has been working with the city in assessing the areas that need the most help in devising solutions on how to get the unsheltered into proper housing. Many like Mansion Church pastor Terry Dinkins, whose church converts to a warming center, applauds the city for bringing in reinforcements.
I think it's very important to help the homeless in this time because we have so many of them. So to get help, wherever we can get that help, is greatly appreciated.
The federal government started working with Bangor as early as mid-September of 2022. Federal officials arrived in the city to discuss options regarding how to mitigate the growing homelessness crisis. According to a recent report from City Manager Debbie Laurie, she says there's some progress in getting those who need housing what they need.
Anytime that you can connect an individual to housing, it's a win. 5 individuals who had been in one of our encampments were housed. How is that not a win?
The fight is not over, though, and Laurie says it's time for the city to act swiftly in housing the homeless.
The hard work starts now. We now know everybody. So now every time a unit or a landlord calls and says, I have a unit that I could be able to use, we're trying to move people into that unit quickly.
In Bangor, Matthew Juronsik reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, you don't typically think about the itchy rash from brown-tailed moths in the winter, but this is the best time to prevent their effects. We've got the details when we return.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Have both Medicare and Medicaid? Now's the time to explore your options and choose the coverage that's right for you. Choose a plan that offers you more benefits at no additional cost. Millions of members turn to WellCare for benefits and services that go beyond basic Medicare and help them lead better, healthier lives. Choose a plan with zero or low monthly premiums, co-pays, and deductibles. And with WellCare, you don't just pay less, you get more. More dental with comprehensive coverage, including dentures and crowns. More vision and hearing with an eyewear allowance and hearing aids. Plus prescription drug coverage with $0 preferred generics and free home delivery. Call us at 1-877-267-8416 to speak to a friendly licensed representative and request a free all-in-one guide. There's no obligation. We're here to help you review your options to see if a WellCare plan is the right decision for you. WellCare has a large network of quality doctors and specialists. Plus, we offer PPOD SNPs with the freedom and flexibility to choose your preferred provider in some areas. Enjoy free over-the-counter healthcare items and free groceries with a healthy food card. Plus, free transportation to doctors and pharmacies and free meals delivered to your home. Get convenient access to care with our telehealth services, including online doctor visits and a free gym membership with online classes. WellCare is a leader in government-sponsored health care. It has been serving those with Medicare, Medicaid, and prescription drug for more than 35 years. Call now. We're here to answer your questions and even assist enrolling you over the phone. Choose the company that puts your health first. WellCare, Medicare done well. Call now and get a free copy of our all-in-one guide. 1-877-267-8416.
It's high school basketball season, and ABC 7 and Fox 22 are here to keep you up to date with your local scores and highlights during Friday Night Fast Break. Get out and support your hometown teams and look for our sports crew to get your own free Friday Night Fast Break t-shirt courtesy of
Center Theater for the Performing Arts, Dexter Lumber, Hometown Health Center, Howard Insurance, Twin City Tile, and Urban Air Adventures.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The legislature's Committee on Veterans and Legal Affairs has passed a bill designed to protect cannabis caregivers and patients by clarifying the meaning of the term cannabis paraphernalia in Maine statute. LD 83 is sponsored by Democratic State Senator Craig Hickman of Winthrop. The bill passed unanimously through committee and is a response to a previous update from the Maine Office of Cannabis Policy. At the time, the updated guidance defined many cannabis products, such as pre-rolled cannabis cigarettes, as tobacco products. That meant that many cannabis caregivers had to receive a retail tobacco license to continue selling those products or face hefty fines or imprisonment. LD 83 defines cannabis paraphernalia to draw a clear distinction between that definition and the definition of tobacco products. The bill now faces votes in both the Senate and the House. The rules about the minimum and maximum sizes of lobsters that can be trapped off New England could soon become more strict, potentially bringing big changes to one of the most valuable seafood industries in the country. Lobstermen are required to measure lobsters from eyes to tail and must throw them back if they're too large or too small. The rules are intended to maintain a breeding population of the lobsters in key areas such as the Gulf of Maine and Georges Bank. The regulatory Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission is considering changing the standards by a fraction of an inch in some of the 3 fishing grounds. The Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry has announced February as Brown-tailed Moth Awareness Month. According to the Maine Forest Service, winter is the best time to spot the caterpillars lying dormant in their winter webs. Destroying a brown-tailed moth's winter web will prevent more caterpillars from populating. That will reduce the presence of toxic hairs, which cause poison ivy-like rashes and asthma-like reactions.
Sometimes that clipping of the webs can at least delay the arrival of a larger infestation to that area. And so there's a couple of ways that brown-tail can be managed. And one is, as I mentioned, through that web clipping. And that is simply cutting the webs from the tree and then destroying them somehow.
The caterpillar webs can be destroyed safely by fire or by soaking the web in soapy water for hours at a time. To learn more information about the moths and preventative tips, visit maine.gov/knockoutbtm. Senator Angus King says he wants to provide more help for veterans. He met with vets Monday at the Brunswick American Legion. He's now on the Veterans Affairs Committee and says they need to do more than just pass legislation. Senator King says a lot of those protections need to be seen through. He plans to suggest that the VA, the Veterans Services Department, and the Defense Department meet with his committee to follow up. He says there needs to be improvements when it comes to transitioning to civilian life.
One of the things I'm most interested in that was talked about today is a buddy system. Have a human being whose job it is to meet you at the airport and help you through, where do you take your laundry in Maine and how do you avoid it? What do you do when it's 30 below on a Friday night?
Senator King says it's important for each state to know exactly where veterans are going so someone can guide them through the resources that are available. After the break, we'll take a look at what you can do about how winter impacts your moods. We'll be right back.
What I've learned over my 17 years in pharmacy is that every medication has the potential to affect every person differently. That was evident with my own mother. The medications were hindering her ability to think quickly. It did feel a little premature to stop driving, but it was the right thing to do. My message to Mainers would be never doubt the potential side effects. Talk to a loved one about your ability to drive safely.
Let your creativity run free at the Creative Arts Center, where we offer fun and affordable activities for all ages. Birthday parties, pottery wheel classes, painting lessons, or just for the fun of it. Get fired up for glazing projects as well as acrylics. We offer a wide selection of ceramic products for you to choose from, and we have thousands of pieces ready to paint. We are a Paragon kiln dealer and a Laguna Clay distributor. Stop by the Creative Arts Center today, located just off the Joshua Chamberlain Bridge in Brewer. The Creative Arts Center, where your only limitation is your imagination.
It's high school basketball season, and ABC7 and Fox 22 are here to keep you up to date with your local scores and highlights during Friday Night Fast Break. Get out and support your hometown teams and look for our sports crew to get your own free Friday Night Fast Break t-shirt courtesy of
Blackstream Excavation Services, Comfort Shoes and More, Foxy Hair Design, Overhead Door Company of Bangor, Tucker Auto Repair, and Ye Old General Store.
Saliba's Rug Cleaners in Bangor is the best and only spot you should go to for your rug cleanings. Serving Maine for more than 70 years, we care about your rugs. Clean rugs last longer, and our family takes pride in being the professionals that you can trust. Our cleaning process consists of soaking your rug in a bath, shampooing, rinsing, and drying in a humidity-controlled dry room, making sure no detail is overlooked. Need a repair? We fully service every type of rug for you. Saliba's Rug Cleaners.
We care about your rugs.
Napa knows how to stay warm. And with 29 locations in Maine, Coastal Auto Parts has just what you need to prepare for any outdoor activity. Lightweight, durable, and designed for comfort, Milwaukee's heat-on-demand jackets and hoodies are the perfect cold weather gear. No matter the job, no matter the weather, you'll be ready for anything. And while you're here, sign up for Napa Rewards. You'll save more each time you shop. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
The most devastating earthquake in a century hit Turkey and Syria. More than 4,300 people were confirmed dead overnight. The weather is hampering the frantic search for survivors in entire neighborhoods that have been wiped off the map. Through the tragedy comes triumph in the form of children rescued and reunited with what's left of their families. ABC's Lionel Moisey has the latest.
This morning, a desperate search and rescue effort in Turkey and Syria as the World Health Organization warns the initial death toll from this disaster could climb 8 times higher. Here in Syria, first responders digging through the rubble by hand, looking for survivors of the worst quake to hit the region in a century.
The situation is too bad. We need urgent help.
Hospitals like this one overwhelmed and preparing for even more patients. More than 6,000 buildings have been destroyed in Turkey alone, and aftershocks are keeping people on edge. A frantic run in this city as a building comes crashing down, sending smoke and rubble into the air. Time is of the essence, with the frigid temperatures lowering the chances of survival for people still trapped. This woman still waiting to hear from her daughter. She says the bedroom was right over there. Countries around the world pledging immediate assistance. An urban search and rescue team from Los Angeles is deploying with medical teams and search dogs, joining another team from Virginia.
They train tunneling, lifting heavy objects, getting concrete off of people. Having the dogs that you see behind me today are live find dogs, so they're trained to find live people under rubble.
This as survivors wait in the bitter cold to be rescued. This man saying, "Speak out loud," as a woman responds, "Help, help." Turkey lies in one of the world's most active earthquake zones. An earthquake back in '99 left 17,000 people dead. But today there is an encouraging number. Nearly 8,000 people have already been rescued in Turkey. The hope is that number will continue to grow.
Crews have begun releasing toxic chemicals into the air after a train derailed in Ohio. The governor has also ordered the evacuation of hundreds of residents from the town of East Palestine because authorities are concerned about the potential for a major explosion. The train was on its way to Pennsylvania Friday night when it derailed and caught fire. Emergency crews have begun draining the chemicals in some of the cars because they fear they could explode and send metal flying into the surrounding area. The plan was to allow the chemicals to leak into a containment pit where they could be burned in a controlled manner. Officials suspect a mechanical issue with one of the rail cars caused the train to jump the tracks. Winter can bring many seasonal joys, but for some, it may lead to a dip in mood levels. With more, here's Elizabeth Schulze.
Studies estimate that as many as 20% of Americans experience mood changes depending on the time of year. The University of Michigan is sharing tips to beat the winter blues. Get into bright light as soon as you wake up, preferably the same time every day. This can help regulate your internal clock, also known as your circadian rhythm. Exercise regularly, as this helps to regulate mood levels. Get outside whenever possible. Research shows 2 hours in nature each week supports overall well-being. Have some fun by enjoying winter activities like ice skating or sledding. And always remember you're not alone. If your mood begins to interfere with your daily activities, be sure to reach out to your doctor, as there is help available. With this Medical Minute, I'm Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News.
When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
Max True Value Hardware in Unity is the best option year-round for all of your home improvement projects. Backed by one of the leading paint manufacturers in the United States, Max will color match or custom mix any color for you. We care about your pets too, carrying all of the essential pet products in our store. During those cold winters, we take the extra step to help with wood pellets ready to load on site. We also fill all size propane cylinders year-round. Max True Value Hardware. We take pride in serving our community. Let us know how we can help you today.
Jamar Construction Products in Bangor continues to grow to meet our customers' needs, supplying products for site work contractors, concrete contractors, and survey and safety supplies. We are proud to be the local dealer for Hilti, Valley Blades, U.S. Fabrics, and Euclid Chemical, plus so much more. Stop by and see us at 1270 Hammond Street or give us a call at 4491. If you dig it, pour it, plow it, fasten it, lay it, or lift it, Jamar Construction Products can help you.
At the Bangor Grand Hotel and Conference Center, you will discover a new dimension of comfort. We've got newly updated rooms, suites, and a new and improved lobby. Our Blue Sky Lounge and restaurant features exceptional food, flavors, and service. We welcome the weary travelers, the sharp-dressed businessman, the overnight basketball tourney fans, and of course, families on their fun adventures. Many of our guests tell us we've become their home away from home. Moving forward is in our design here at the Bangor Grand, and we'll continue to improve on the things we do best, like exceeding your expectations.
It's high school basketball season, and ABC7 and Fox 22 are here to keep you up to date with your local scores and highlights during Friday Night Fast Break. Get out and support your hometown teams and look for our sports crew to get your own free Friday Night Fast Break t-shirt courtesy of
Body Graphics Tattoo and Piercing Studio, Coastal Auto Parts, Electrify Maine, Loring Job Corps, Overhead Door Company of Bangor, and Rack Attack Basketball.
It's the end of the line for the Crazy Train. Rock legend Ozzy Osbourne announced that he's retiring from touring. The 74-year-old who found great success in both his solo career and fronting heavy metal giants Black Sabbath canceled all of his upcoming shows in Europe, stating he physically cannot perform anymore. Osbourne has endured several years of ill health, including a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease in 2019 and major surgery last June. Well, now let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
All right, let's get things rolling out there. A small crowd advisory is in effect now until about 7 a.m. for your Wednesday along the coast. This is because areas along the shoreline will still be rather active with the area low pressure that continues to move away and stir up the ocean. But we'll see some improvement before this expires as we head towards 7 a.m. tomorrow. But otherwise, though, look at this. The clouds have been getting out of here as well. So that means a lot of sunshine will be observed for us today. So we'll be looking for good reasons to get outside. Today is that day to do so. We'll make that 30 degrees feel really nice. We have high pressure right nearby for us at this point, but we're going to be watching another system moving from the west going toward the east as well, and mainly these systems right here, and that will give us about 1 to 2 inches of snow possible later on tonight, but it will be done before we start the daytime period for tomorrow. So lots of sunshine this afternoon, clouds moving as we head towards the overnight period. By about 10 to 11 o'clock, we'll get some snow moving through, kind of continuing on and off overnight, but by early Wednesday morning, this will all start to taper off, and the clouds will begin to break up as well. So we'll give way to lots of sunshine later in the afternoon before it starts to really become clear as we head towards Wednesday night and a parts of Thursday morning. So overall, things looking pretty nice as we start things off for your Thursday. So here's a general idea. Not a lot of snow on the way, mainly about 1 inch or 2 before we're all finished up. Looks like with the latest model runs now in, it's changing that to more the heavier totals further off towards the south and west of 1 to 2 inches possible. And for us, though, maybe not as much, mainly at around an inch before we're all finished up. But isolated areas of up to 2 inches still cannot be ruled out in a few spots. Wave height still active, 6 to 14 feet according to some of the buoys, 26 feet according towards some of the buoys further out towards sea because we have this sharper contrast in color. That's because the system is rather strong at this point. But again, we'll see some improvement here across our neck of the woods, which is why we're now down to a small crowd advisory at this point. We're average high is 29 degrees. We'll reach for the lower 30s today. Lower 40s, that'll feel amazing Wednesday. Back in the upper 30s for your Thursday. Mid 40s, even warmer Friday. Cooling off back into the mid 30s Saturday into Sunday. Lower 40s again for your Monday. So a lot of snow will be melting with the warmer temperatures that will be moving in. For today, 30 degrees, mostly sunny. We'll have south wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. As for tonight, 20 degrees, snow showers, about 1 to 2 inches of snow possible. Now looking more on the 1 inch side of things at this point. The south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, 41 degrees, partly cloudy and breezy. West wind at about 25 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast. So mostly cloudy again for your Thursday with highs in the upper 30s. Rain and snow chances moving Friday, mainly during the morning period with highs in the mid 40s. That will back off by the afternoon. And partly cloudy on Saturday, highs in the mid 30s.
Thank you, Devin. I don't know. After last weekend, 40 sound like a real heat wave. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening with Peter Dubois and Beth Jones on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
Having a hard time finding that perfect gift?